become what we want to do. It has to be in line. What we do every day, habits, our daily habits. That's what we compound. And before we know it, initially we cannot see changes, but before we know it today, tomorrow, then before we know it, compound and become a better person. But it helps us to go at our own pace. We realize that we are not in competition with anybody. Then it helps us to embrace each other, our differences, our uniqueness, our strength. We don't judge. We don't criticize other people when we see them doing their own things. So, can we rise up for the hands?
Radio. Bluetooth mode. Line name. Radio. Bluetooth mode.
That's the most important thing. Dr. Gbolahan Yusuf is a distinguished medical leader, business coach, and mentor, known for his impactful work in both healthcare and entrepreneurial development, with a deep commitment to patient-centered solution and business innovation. Dr. Yusuf has been instrumental in shaping healthcare practices across Africa, empowering entrepreneurs through targeted coaching. Dr. Yusuf holds a medical degree from the University of Ibadan, University College Hospital, along with advanced certification in leadership and management in global health and project management in global health from the University of Washington, as well as health financing policy or universal health coverage from the World Health Organization. As Chief Medical Director and CEO of Ceylon Group of Hospitals in Lagos, he has transformed the organization into a leading company for urban healthcare services, while also co-founding the Accessible Care for Everyone ACE initiative in 2014 to bridge healthcare gaps for undeserved populations in Nigeria. His visionary leadership extends beyond healthcare into business mentorship, where he shared his expertise at the 110 academic facility monthly seminars for entrepreneurs to foster growth, relent, and success. Dr. Yusuf is a sought-after speaker at platforms such as the Africa Business Summit, the 110 Academy, etc., where he combines insights on health and business growth, his dedication to community education and capacity building, is evidenced through his philanthropic initiatives and seminars designed to equip both healthcare providers and entrepreneurs with tools for excellence. Joining us in celebrating Dr. Gbolahan Yusuf, a transformative leader whose medical expertise, business, and passion
Thank you. Good afternoon, billionaires. Good afternoon, billionaires. Are we alive in this place? Yeah. We're talking about how to attract what you want. And I think the first question is knowing what you want. But before we start, there's a story I want to talk and an analogy, and probably that's how we're going to go through the topic today. So let's say, for example, we have, there's a group, either the president, somebody comes to announce that there's a group called Fatwood. Fatwood is a group of Mrs. Folorunso Alakija, Mr. Tony Elumelu, and then Alhaji Aliko Dangote. And this group has decided to give 100,000 Nigerians, gift them 100 million naira each. You think between them they can do that, right? So, and they say that they're going to send messages to the 100,000 Nigerians, and for them to qualify for the 100 million that will come a year later, that they need to do a few things. There are a few things they need to do, work on a few things, and then submit to them. One of the things they need to do is to read a book every week for 1 year. The second thing is also that they should gather a few people in their environment and teach them a skill that they believe that those participants or beneficiaries believe that would solve a problem in the environment. What do you think will happen to those 100,000 people? Okay, so let's say what percentage of them do you think would read a book every week for 1 year? You say 100%? Our governor says 70%, 80%. Any other person?
Maybe they'll all start, but
No, we're talking about those that would fulfill that instruction. Remember, what is the price? 100 million naira. What percentage of people would do that? So we are not sure, but I will tell you maybe about 50% to be able to make it. But we might be shocked, maybe 30 or 20%. And that's what makes this topic very difficult. And that's why a lot of people, some of the things we're going to talk about, that's one of the reasons why people are not getting what they want. How many people want 100 million? Now, if you say 30%, so let's agree 30%, between 30 and 50% of people would be able to fulfill the requirement, two requirements basically. Read a book every week for 1 year, gather a few people, teach them a skill that can solve a problem that's had value. Why do you think maybe only 30% of people would achieve? Because naturally 100%, like you said. Why?
Though the money is the price is attractive,
Yes.
but all of them will start full of exuberance and all that. But as they go, because of time factor, and the money is not something that will get there now. Some of them they get tired, and they look at it as we 1 year gets here, before that time, there are other things that I can do and even make more money.
Yeah, okay. Discipline. Please, let's clap for both of them. Now, like she said, they'll start with all exuberance, energy, and all, but they will lack perseverance. You understand? They will lack discipline. And she said another thing that's important. Some of them will start saying that, how sure are we that we'll get the 100 million? So the factors, because now this story is you have been told that they are giving 100 million. And the people that have been called, I would have said government, but I'm not sure how much trusting we are of the government. Yeah, so but these guys are billionaires, multi-billionaires, that you know that if they've decided to do it, they have the funds. But even though they have the funds and they've selected these 100,000 people, and they know that 365 days, I'm going to be 100 million naira richer. Probably none of them might even have up to 15 million. And all they need to do is two things. The skill to read, which is personal development. Now, the second thing is to deal with people, get people together, teach them what they're reading, solve a problem. Now, do you know that? So the question is, why did I couch this story this way? I could have said they'll give them 100 million at the end of the day. But it's the same way. A father preparing his will. And like it happens in most places when the father passes away and the child is not 18, the will is put in a trust. And somebody or a group of people are made to oversee it until the child becomes of what? Age. There's a reason why that's done too. We're going to talk about them today. But your attention should not be too much into the revelations or the knowledge I'm going to be sharing, but it's to look at and keep questioning yourself. Why will 30% of people achieve just what they need to do for a year, which is reading and bringing people together to get 100 million? Some people, for what they earn, they start saving every month. They will not get that 100 million. And that's what we're talking about today. There are two ways to achieve most of the things you want. Either you work hard or you work smart. You work hard, you probably might not even get everything. But if you get it, you would have sacrificed some things in getting that, which might affect the quality of life. Because what we're talking about, and when we're looking at things that you want, we're not just talking about money. So that's why I saw this and I put this. See, we're talking about a balanced life. So if you are chasing all the money, success, and all, and sacrificing your health, sacrificing self-care in the pursuit of money, you will have the money, but your life will be skewed. If you sacrifice family, relationships in the pursuit of money and success, you have the success, but nobody to share it with. That's what working hard will get you. I'm saying this because I've spoken with an older friend, more like an uncle, who had said that, see, you guys was talking about 110 and all. That all these things that you and your guy says and everything, that I've met people who do not read, who do not do these things, but they are multi-billionaire. The question is, what percentage of people who do not practice personal development? You understand? Savings, the things we talk about, philanthropy, what percentage of them legally acquire that wealth? So if you look at things statistically, it's an uncle, I didn't say anything, I just kept quiet. From where we are, where we come from, you don't talk when your elders are talking. Yeah, but when we look statistically, you find out that more people, if they practice the things we talk about at this academy, and so most of the things, or all the things we're going to talk about today, the chances that you will achieve all you want is 100%. And some of the people you mentioned, who I know, practice some of the things we do, but they are not just obvious, they are not coming out to talk about it. So the question is, what do we want? This is somebody's vision board. And on this vision board, at least, there's priority for self-care. Reading, taking time out, success, you can see that beautiful toy. You understand? Relationships, adventure, travel, health, and living is our best life. You understand? And okay, so this you might not be able to see this because of the fonts, but these are affirmations. You understand? And I just put this. I didn't want to start asking what do you want. What do you want? Most of the times, what we want is around family, health, wealth, adventure, travel. Well, Nigerians don't do much of adventure, right? The comedian says that the whites live in leisure and pleasure, and they travel for adventure. Not we here, but people down here live an adventure and travel for leisure. That's why when we travel out and they ask you, did you visit maybe some of their beautiful spots? You're like, no. But I stayed in a very beautiful hotel. I went to this park and things like that. But this is basically, if we're going to ask, it's going to fall under these things. And if following the Pareto principle, the law of we know Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Now, if you are told that 20% of the people control 80% of wealth, and these 20% of people do what they've understood, things that even though they are few, actually give them the results. Would you be interested in finding that out? Going back to what I say, working hard and working smart. And the reason I'm saying that is, it is not so much of what I want to say today, is learning the skill to achieve it. Because the last two seminars that our president talked about some of the things we're going to be talking about. The way in wealth, how to create wealth. And I looked at it, I listened to it, and I realized that most of the times, a lot of people know a part, a fraction, or everything he's talking about. But the question is, how many people have learned the skill to practice them? So let's start. We're talking about attracting things, the law of attraction. I'll say here that I drew excerpts from about 4 different books for this seminar. And I would advise that we should go and read those books. First is the one he read the first time. This book. The book the president was reading every Think and Grow Rich. Thank you, sorry. So Think and Grow Rich, when I get them, I show you. Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, that's the second book. The Secrets is the third book, and Ask and It Shall Be Given by James Allen. Those are 4 books. I most likely will drop them on the group chat, the PDFs, and I think you should take your time to read each and every one of those books. They actually go in depth to some of the things we're talking about. Now, the law of attraction. Now, it is believed that the creative force in the world starts with our thoughts. As in, most of the things we see outside were first created within. It is believed that our thoughts can impress on the universe what we think about. Now, and if you think back, there are probably things you thought about at some point growing up, and then it later happened. How many people have had that experience? I'm sure most of us have had that experience one time or the other. First time I noticed was in primary school. I thought of two different scenarios that included myself, my classmates, and the whole school. And those two scenarios happened. Even though it didn't happen to me, but it happened to somebody else, and then we all had together. One, I can't remember but both of them happened. That was the first time I was afraid of the things I was thinking about. And it helped me because whenever I started to think about negative things, I stopped myself. Because I was afraid that, you feel that, I have powers. As a little boy, I have spiritual powers. If I just think about it, it will happen. And I started to notice that there were a few other things that were happening, but all these things were coincidences. I wasn't intentionally thinking of them, but there are things I just think about. And a good number of us, we did that growing up, and we still do that now, where we live in our head. You can sit down and then you are already in America, and you have imagined a lot of things. Now, if you are like that, then your work is already half done. Since you already know how to imagine, then the rest is easy. So thoughts create our reality. And it follows this pattern. We ask. Now, how do you ask? Asking is not just about what you say. Even the Holy Book talks about the ability of God to do much more than what we ask or think. So asking also goes into what your predominant thoughts are. And how do you know what you think about concerning any issue? The question is, what's your response when you think about those things? So we're looking at the economic situation in the country and all that. When people have a conversation around it, what's your emotional state? What do you think about? Do you think about the fact that things are so hard, I don't even know I'm going to survive? So even though in the morning you are asking, or you're saying that, see, money comes to me ceaselessly from multiple sources on a continuous basis. You understand? Opportunities flows freely through me. You say all those things. You understand? I thrive in whatever economy. And you say it and you scream, you jump, you're excited. And when conversations are around the things, and then your response is, how we go take do one? How I will survive? Will this not finish me? Then at that point, you realize that your thoughts and what your thoughts are creating are things that will finish you. Not the fact that you tried. Do you understand what I'm saying? If this is what you get, I think we're good for today. And it's important that you focus on positive outcomes. Now, it is said that the universe in which you are imprinting your thoughts to bring about what you want do not understand negative or positive. It just speaks the words you're talking about. Do you understand? So, I am wealthy is not the same that I cannot be poor. They are not the same. Operative word in the two statements is wealth and poverty. For a long time, when I listen to people around me and people I work with pray, most times I wait till they finish the prayer, but I correct them. I am wealthy. You understand? I'm prosperous. Is not the same as I cannot be poor. Even though generally accepted to be saying the same thing. They'll say, well, if you are not poor, then you are rich. No. The universe that is receiving what you're saying and is going to prepare the dish of what you will get will prepare wealth for one and prepare poverty for the other. So when you think about these things, think about positive outcomes, not negative. It does not know yes or no. It only looks after the word. So when you're thinking, your focus should always be on positive outcome because you are going to attract similar energies and opportunities. Our president spoke about vibration. Most times when we talk about the law of attraction, It's how we can align your thoughts to what has already been delivered unto you. So let me flip the story I started with. What we're talking about here, the first one is we even know that 100 million is coming to 100,000 people. That has been announced. What we're talking about here is that there is surplus, abundance that's already waiting for everybody. Like we say that the sky is too vast for all birds to fly. So also is the abundance in the fish believe. Story of someone was to plan months and he started to look at, see, if I'm going to do those things in the future, then I cannot. Do you understand? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So in relation to what is to come in years to come, and death is finality, right? So if, and then he came out of it, said the day his health took a turn for the better, he knew. That night he knew. In fact, by the next morning, someone who could barely walk from here to there without being tired, by the next morning he got out of bed. Said every other person was still sleeping. He got out of bed, he went downstairs, he came back, sat down in his living room. This was like maybe 4 or 5 a.m. He looked around, he went back upstairs and he went back to bed and slept. Said sure that when they woke up, they didn't know he did all those things. But he was the one that could recognize that the healing is finally here. So it's not just, it's in terms of anything. The question is, are you mindful of your thoughts well enough to know that what I'm asking for and my response to those questions are not the same? And my job is to align it. You see that, do you think is it difficult? Is it as difficult as having to go and carry some things? It's very easy, but then it takes discipline. And we're going to be talking about those things. So you become what you think about. It's simple. You become what you think about. Now, this is from Think and Grow Rich. The power of desire and definite purpose. Yes. Now, if you want something, we have to be definite about it. You have to be specific. So the question is not just, I want to be wealthy. The question is, by 20, like we talk about me in 5 years, by 2029, I have in my bank account $100 million. That is specific, 100 million, and time bound. You understand? So you have to be specific, and the desire, and you have to be, it has to be definite. Whatever you want to create, it has to be definite. It's not about I have money. It's not about I have a wonderful family. It has to be very specific because it gives your mind something to focus on. So each time you think of wealth, you're thinking about $100 million in 2029. Oh, I live in the best places. No. For those, if you want, where is the best place to live in Lagos? Okay, let's say Ikoyi. There's some coded places in this Lagos. But let's just say, don't let's decode those coded places. The people there don't want you to know. So let's say by 2029, I'm just saying me in 5 years, might be 2 years, might be 3 years. I and my family live in a mansion on Body Lawn. You understand? On what other road? Glover's Road. I think there's Glover's Road in Ikoyi. If you want Banana Island, Eco Atlantic. Eco Atlantic is sold in dollars. You understand? I own a mansion in Eco Atlantic. When you think, then you go to Eco Atlantic. You see what it looks like. Or you check on YouTube. You understand? You don't really have to physically go there. You check on YouTube. It gives an object for your imagination. So each time you are writing, each time you are thinking it, there's something you're thinking about. Like I was saying to a few people, we're discussing, there's a group of people who came together and we're talking about how to thrive in this economy and all. And I said that we were all in a gathering and someone made a pronouncement that he sees that this year there'll be a lot of cars. Then my question to them is that when he said that, what came to your mind? oftentimes it's blank. And that might be the reason why we are not attracting it. Because we are not holding the objects in our mind. So when they say car, especially if you have been writing or you're expectant of a car, you already know the model of the car, the year of the car. In fact, you've gone on YouTube, you've looked at the car. There was a time we wanted a car. And then someone, and I should add this, a friend bought the same car. When we wanted the car, I couldn't plot the graph of how we would get the money to buy the car. And then my wife spoke to him that I'd like to see the car. And she called me. Initially, I was like, which was the initial thing? How am I going to check car that I don't even know the money? I don't have the money. Then I stopped myself. Then I went and I now sat down in the driver's seat. I held the steering. And as I held it, I was saying those things, affirming, confessing it in my mind that in a short while, these steerings will be mine. Then while I sat down there, I was stunned. You know how children will play with? That's how I was playing with it. And in my mind, when you watch speed race, you know how you can create the track. I created the track myself. I don't think it was up to 7 months after that car came. You understand? Because I could find the object of my desire. And I held it. In fact, create an experience around it. What do you think I'm trying to get by saying get an image and experience? What will it do to you? It creates an emotion, a positive emotion. Our president talked about what? Feeling. Feel your way to success. How many of us have gone back to read that book? Feeling is the secret. How many people have read that book? See, we still don't have up to 50% of people who have read it. That's what we're talking. It's not the revelation. It's the skill, the discipline to follow through. We'll say all these things, and we don't follow it. Next year, or any other time we're talking about it, it will look like these things don't work. The question is, try it first and stick with it. So, in creating the emotions, look at the things you ask. What do you want to create? Why does this thing matter to yourself? When you attach meaning to your goals, it become like magnetic forces and they draw us forward towards those goals. Because by attaching meaning, you create the emotion. Like I said, get a vision board. What does it do? It converts all these things that are intangible into things you can touch, things you can feel. Like the one I started with, this. So when the person is thinking of travel, you think of, where would you like to travel to? Paris, Dubai, name it. The Maldives. You get a picture of those places and then you put it. So when you are thinking of traveling to Dubai, you have the picture of one of the iconic places. You know they have Museum of the Future. You know that. Okay, so of course, our friends will like Dubai. You think you can't get the picture of the Museum of the Future. You put it there. So when you're thinking of travel, your mind goes there. When you think of success, what's success to you? Building a conglomerate, a multinational, you understand? Having so much money that you are free to travel. When I was working with the president, I think then he spends 6 weeks, 6 weeks in the country, 3 weeks outside. At least every 9 weeks he's traveling for 3 weeks. I think it's like, oh boy. Because for him, and he has said it many times, travel is like almost number one. So it was a priority for him. Long before he was able to achieve 3 weeks out, 6 weeks in the country. So travel is success for him. So creating a vision board actually helps you to get what's abstract and then it brings it into something tangible, something you can see at the start. But where we are is the feeling. How do you feel when we talk about wealth? We can't be numb to the things we want. How would you feel if I achieve this? How would I feel when I achieve this, when I get this? And that's the important thing. And the starting point, like Napoleon Hill said, is what? Is desire. That's the starting point. Some of the reasons why about 30% of the people will do all that is necessary to get that 100 million is also because of their mindset. Because most of the things we are talking about here is a function of what your mind does. Do you agree with me? Now, so perhaps where we need to work is to re-engineer the mind. In fact, all the work we need to do is to re-engineer the mind, because most likely our actions will go in the line of what we actually believe. And our belief sometimes, or most times, is an accumulation of the experiences we've had. Do you agree with me? Now, when the child is born, the child has no experience. The child is a blank canvas. Ma? Yes, exactly. Who the child becomes is a form. First, yes, we said there's already a genetic makeup. So there's a predisposition. But we found that genetics is not the only thing that makes the man, or the factors. That you could have twins, a set of twins, and one lives in one part of the country, another one another part of, or with two different families. And when they grow at 20 years of age, they still will look alike, but there will be nothing alike because of the accumulation of their experiences. And where does these experiences go to sit? In the mind. Every single person walks in here and sat down on that chair. Why? If someone walks in today, or let's say 5 of everybody here walks in, and when they sat down, the chair gave way, they have to look for another chair. When we come next week, what will you all do? You will test it before you sit, right? That's an experience that have changed your perception of the chairs in this room and how you will respond to it. That's what we're talking about. So what is the process of intentional transformation and upgrading of one's what? Thoughts, beliefs, and mental patterns. That means that we will be intentional in creating the information to cause our mind to move in the direction it should go. Are we still together? And then, how do we do that? I wrote a bunch of things. Maybe I'll just talk about 1 or 2 things. Self-awareness, mindset shifts. We've talked about growth mindsets in this place, yes? And one of the things we say about a growth mindset, someone with a growth mindset, when they have setbacks, how do they respond to it? Yes. So the question is, what can I learn from this? What is the lesson? This thing is trying to teach me a lesson. Why someone without a growth mindset will be defeated? Say, and I told myself not to try this thing. I should not go this way. It's a mindset. Neuroplasticity. Now, while we were growing up in science, they told us that once the child gets to a particular age, the brain stops to grow. That was what we learned, right? So everything the child brain needs to learn is before the child is, I can't remember, 5, 6, or 8 years. 7. Thank you. But we found out, well, we've known a long time, but now we talk about it a lot, that the brain retains the capacity by change of structure or connections to change the way it responds to things. Now, you find it even in cases of, so you've had people who have stroke where the connections in the brain, sorry, I'll take you to biology, of blood in a particular area, so that's why the person cannot lift his hand. Then with physiotherapy, controlling blood pressure and all that, you find out that the person starts to regain some of those functions. The person could not talk and start to talk, because we now realize that the brain can form new structures. They bypass that port that the connections, so it's like electrical wire and you go and cut it. If you call an electrician, what would they do? Let's say they cannot reach that place, they just bypass with another wire. Now, we found that not just for stroke, we found out that the brain also can change the way it changes its experience, changes the way it responds to things by virtue of the experiences it gets. We okay? And there are so many experiments to that. But what will this now tell us? It means that even though you grew up in lack, do you understand? And everything from day one has always been beyond your reach. You can start with new experiences to change that mentality of lack to abundance. But the sweet thing about it is by deceiving the brain. Deceiving the brain. That's why I pause. Think about it. Hey, I want to be deception. Now, this is it. What I'm trying to tell you is, okay. What I'm trying to tell you here is you probably have, let's say we have someone who has 10,000 naira in his account. But he's telling himself, I'm a billionaire in dollars. I'm a millionaire in dollars. He says it the first time. The brain tells him, you're a joker. The next day, he says, I'm a millionaire in dollars. He goes to research. What do millionaires do? Okay, millionaires can even enter any car lot and say, which car? Please, how much is this car? You know, they will not arrest you. The reason why we are not doing it is because our brain is still telling us, do you have the money? You wear your Christmas clothes. You enter any car lot and say, sorry, where's the sales rep? I would like to see your money. I'm shopping for a new car. I want to see the cars you have. They will attend to you. They'll give you coffee. Drink the coffee. Don't be afraid. Enter the car. No fear. I'm telling you, can we go for a test drive? But just tell them you will drive out. Start the car. See, kill that feeling of saying, oh boy, leave this car. Kill that feeling and enter that mode of, let me enjoy the drive. Please put on the AC. Then when they drive and come back, okay, let's try this next one. Okay, so let's go talk price. Then you go in and talk price. Okay. Well, I'm thinking of, I'm still trying to consider my options. The guy with friends said, don't worry, then walk out and feel like $1 million. See, do that. Something else you want, go check. Oh, I'd like to go to Dubai. You might not have now, which is the fiscal part, the money to travel. But you go on YouTube, what are the wonderful spots or spots of attractive spots in Dubai? What makes this one better than the other one? If you continue what I'm telling you, your brain will believe you have $100 million in the account. Because the way you start to interact with this thing is the way people who have it interact, knowing that there's no need for budget. And do you know what you're doing? Your brain is forming new pathways. It's changing its structure. That thing that you're doing, you do it continue 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. You're not buying, you understand. But you're interacting with those things as if you have the money. The boldness is there. The next time you go to that car lot, even if the money has increased, but it has not gotten there, you find out that your brain will not be fighting with you. It will be enjoying it. That's what we mean by the plastic nature of the brain. It can actually bend without breaking. That's the quality of plastic. It can bend, you can mold it. So what you are doing is molding. Are you not deceiving the brain? So do you now understand what I mean? And being emotionally intelligent. What's your state of emotion? Are you mindful of it? Am I excited about these things? When I think of these things I want, does it excite me? If not, you have to get yourself. And we're still going to talk about those things. And what are the ways which I put here? Sorry. Meditation, mindfulness, affirmations, visualization, journaling, reflection, practice of gratitude. We've talked about all of these things at this seminar. So I'm not to start to talk about them. But meditation is a mindfulness. It's like separating yourself away from all the distractions and allowing yourself to be present in the universe and start to take those things that are objects of your desire and start to think about them. Also, when you start to think, because there's no distraction, you can pick what your emotion is about those things. And if it's negative, you start to try to turn it. How? You can even do that by using what? Affirmations. What words are you affirming? So if your emotion is about lack, you understand, you start to affirm things that talk about abundance. Abundance flows freely through me. Opportunities, success, you understand, are my experience. I am a money magnet. Do you understand? Money flows ceaselessly from diverse sources on a continuous basis in increasing amounts. Everywhere is calm. In fact, in meditation, there are even some songs, some music you could play that calms the whole place. Don't be afraid. It's not occultic. It is you that are at one with your maker in that moment. Most times we are so busy that we point. Have you ever tried to, maybe you have flowers in your area or around you, or you have anything of nature, and you sit down by that and you focus only on the flower? Don't think about any other thing. You look at the petals. You look at even how it comes out of the soil, the direction it is. If there's any insects or butterfly any around, you look at them. You are not thinking of fuel price. You are thinking of only the flower. If you continue in that state, in a matter of minutes, everywhere will be quiet. One of the things that we rob ourselves of is not meditating. Because while you are meditating, you're quieting everything. It's like you are selecting a playlist. Everywhere is quiet, you now choose what you want to think about. You get it. I mean, you've watched Matrix. You've watched those sci-fi movies, like everywhere will be white. It's like there's a drawer. This is a drawer on adventure. You now click it. You now start to think about it. What you're doing is you are doing things that will rewire the brain. Visualizations, we've talked about that. Then we'll still come back to gratitude. Okay. All right, so I just put this quote. Thoughts is the only reality. Your thoughts, what we're talking about, is the only reality. Conditions are but the outward manifestations of your thoughts. So our real reality is our thoughts. And like the president said in his last seminar, and what all of these things will do is you are, especially when you talk about the emotions, is that you're experiencing these things twice. First in your mind, and you generate the feeling, and then when you receive it physically. So you're getting two for the price of one. So part of being mindful, neuroplasticity and all is developing a wealth consciousness. You're focusing on abundance mindset over scarcity. And it's so easy to differentiate the two. There's a need. How do you respond to it? So the response is, I have this thing. You understand? Even the question is that, but it's not here. It is coming. As opposed to, I don't have it. I don't think I will ever have it. There are two different mindsets. Which one is better? For both of them, you don't have, it's not there. But when you see, I have it and it is coming. You understand? Then I don't have it and I don't think I can ever have it. This person will never have it. But there's a chance that this would have it. So then, please, let's embrace the success of others. It's important. It's part of these emotions you're generating. Don't let the success of others cause you to be sad. You know, some people, even some ministers will say that. Tell you how you came. How the car came is went to go in order to show my wife. I still go in order to show my wife. I went to check the kind of car we've been talking about. I know the car, but I said, there's a car I like. Will you know? I said, will you like this kind of car? So I went to check online. I saw it, that car, and I showed her, if this car comes, do you want this one? You know, no matter how beautiful a car is, there are some things that are important. Because the car can come, and the color is not the color. And they'll say they don't, you say you don't want, or the way the tire is. So I've learned to go and show. So I showed her. Oh, said she likes this one. She can. I said, okay. So I have a friend who buys car. I said, so look at this kind. When you're looking, when it's time to buy, when it is time to buy, this is the kind of car we have accepted on Sunday. The guy told me on Tuesday that car that you sent me the picture is up for auction today. What is how high can you go? I said, hey. I just said you should see. But in that moment, I caught it. I said, this is how high I can go. And I continued my work. In the evening, he said, we won the auction. but we have to go $3,500 more than your. I say, okay, so now that we won the auction, guess my first question: what if we cannot pay? Is there any penalty? Then I told myself, no. And so I said, when is the latest time we can pay? Billionaires, we bought the car. But we could buy it because of an abundance mindset. And then trying to even go, and because what the law of attraction does is that you align with the object of your desire such that it will cause events around you. Then you also will be able to pick it when they start to happen. Simple fact. How many people wore brown shoes between your house and here today? So next seminar, for every brown shoe you see, I'll give you 100,000. If I ask him, he will tell me up to decimal. Yes. That there's somebody wore one brown, one black. So it is 15.5. Multiply that times 100,000. This is how much, where's my money? Because I gave him something to look for. Why would he go and count the shoes? The money. But then I've given him the way to get the money. He's going to see all the brown shoes. I'm telling you, it's next month. From today, you'll be noticing everybody that has a brown shoe. Have you ever tried to buy something and it's as if that's when that thing is everywhere? Yes. It's your mind. So what we are trying to do is that by creating the object of desire, we are tuning your mind to when the opportunities that will cause those things to come to you appear in your environment, you will pick it. But if there's nothing you're desiring, if you don't have any definitive things you're desiring, those opportunities will just be like water. And you will just be saying, why is the floor wet? Please, who is supposed to clean, mop this floor? When those are the opportunities that will move you closer to your dreams. It's getting clearer. Don't worry. We're almost there. So, develop a daily habit of monitoring your thoughts. I think it's in Think and Grow Rich. At some point, always stop yourself. What am I thinking? What's my predominant thought right now? And that is the reason why, if you are ever in a place where conversations are that of negative, you know you will not go there again. Or at most, maybe it's a colleague at work. You have to be at work all the time. Maybe you have the airport. Or you can actually train your mind to tune your mind that conversation. Because your predominant thought must always be what? Positive. So you have self-doubt or fear with thoughts of capitalism. One of the best ways to get that, apart from reading books and things, is surround yourself about how to achieve it. Not writing desire based on what you have in your bank account. So people that I have friends like that. I have friends that if we are talking like this, the figures we mentioned, sometimes we'll be walking on the street. I used to tell myself, I hope we're not too loud. I just say, our boys, sorry, these boys that are always talking in billions, where do they live? I enjoy talking because for the next 1 hour, 2 hours, we will just be talking figures and what we'll do with the figures and all of that. And the way we talk about it is that not if I, no, when I have, this is what I want to do. Each time I go on those kind of things, my spirit is lifted. I just believe that everything is possible. And that's where we're trying to get to. Not just ask, believe. So, and see, as he thinks, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remains. That's from that book. Ask and shall be given. We have said, as a man thinks, so he is. What I've added now is, as he continues to think, he will remain that way. Yeah, I've said a lot around this, so I might not say about self-perception. Be mindful. Because your perception of yourself determines what you will go for. So they bring a deal that is in billions. There are people that will say, it's not for me. Maybe we'll have to look for somebody else. And somebody else that's asking for billions will say, yes, I know about them. We'll go and look for someone who can do research. I'm sure that person is genuine. Bring the person, connect them, and take his own commission. The only thing is, because information is, rules the world. You had information that someone needed something. You look for who can provide it. And then you connect them and get. But you know, many times if you don't have that perception of someone who can connect that, when that comes to you, you don't even do anything about it. 10% of 1 billion is what? 100 million. Five, they give you 5%, say, well, my fee is usually 10%, but can you make it 7%? And then you just walk away, you not do anything, just connect them. So sometimes it's our perception of who we are. Do you think you are one who is deserving of what you want? You are what you think. And it's important that your self-image plays a major factor in determining success. Then, limiting beliefs. So when you're thinking of this, what are those things that are coming back to you, say you cannot do it? You have to find ways to re-engineer your mind such that you remove all these subconscious blocks to your success. One of the ways, meditation, self-reflection, journaling, write your daily affirmation. Our president talks to us about writing our what? Affirmations daily. Last time he asked us to write 10 things that we want. I want to believe that we continue writing that in every day. So that if I say we should write it, or if we were ever asked to write it, in less than 15 minutes we write. Because it's something we write every day. I know while you are writing, like you said, always ask yourself, how do I feel about it? It should not become just something you do every day, something that becomes monotonous. Each time, how do I feel about these things? This 100 million USD, when I have all these USD, for someone who has it, how do you feel? Oh, my kids are, they've grown up to be, successful, smart, wonderful, healthy. You're already looking at your son or your daughter, and then you know how AI can do it for you. But even you have AI. Just make them grow up and then keep the face there. And you think about them with their family coming around. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas. You understand? It's holidays and we're together. That feeling, it's important. And it helps to actually remove all the road blocks. Get into a song. Music is powerful. Is there a song that helps to push you in the positive direction? A song that tells you that, see, you are everything you want to be. That kind of song should not be far from you. So when self-doubt is coming, burst into that song. It's not likely you're singing that song and that doubt will remain for long. Yes, practice gratitude. I said it was in the bullet points earlier, but I decided to give it a whole slide because this is important. You can't, right? I come here and I maybe just come and buy, wristwatches. I start to give to everybody. Everybody, we will all be grateful, right? Now, I could also come and say, next meeting, all that comes to get a wristwatch. Yes, you also be grateful. I do not think I can buy a wristwatch for you. Next month, so just declare for everybody. Now, gratitude is one thing that can take you instantaneously from doubt to abundance. In fact, personal experience, there was a period I was worried about something. I read the book of The Science of Getting Rich. Chapter 7 is gratitude. I got to gratitude, I was able to sleep. Because first, I told myself that the reason why I'm worrying is because I have something worth losing. I should be grateful first that I have something that is that tangible. Do you understand? The next thing is that what caused me to get to that point that I have something tangible. All of that is more than enough to take me beyond what is disturbing me. And I started practicing 5 things I'm grateful for before I go to bed every day. And you can't, by the time you're saying 5 things that happened today you're grateful for, you can't be saying that and be worrying at the same time. Because it shifts your mind from worry to gratitude. And the next thing, you will sleep like a baby. Because you're grateful. So this is another thing you practice, gratitude. 5 things I'm grateful for. Now, because every night you have to come up with 5 things you're grateful for, during your day, you are looking for those things you're grateful for. It moves your emotions in the direction of gratitude. So when anything happens, you are grateful. You understand? When anything happens, you're grateful. When you're going somewhere and you miss your way, try and look for something positive about why you missed your way. Don't be upset that it took you and you now enter traffic of another 30 minutes. Find something in all of that that you can be grateful for. It flips your mind towards the positive side. You're always, see, it's like you're playing table tennis and you want the tennis ball to be on the other side. It's trying to come here. Use gratitude to push it the other way. He talked about gratitude journal the last time. He said, get a journal and start writing things you're grateful from when you were born, as far back as you can remember, and start to write. And see, there are battles and there are things that might come in the future that the weapon that will help you push your emotion in the positive way is because of the victories you've had in the past. But if you don't keep a journal of it, you just feel that all these things always hard. But you forgot that it's been hard before and you came through. And then the person stays in negative. It's like you're pulling what you want or it's pulling towards it. And because you move in negative, it's like 1 step forward, 3 steps back. Share testimonies. We're asked if we have testimonies. And I think we've been doing that. We've always asked about testimonies. I think it should be part of our affirmation. That every month, every time I come for the seminar, I will have a testimony to share. Let them say, are you the only one? Let it be actually an affirmation. And then during the month, you are working towards having something to share. So let's share testimonies. It's a way of practicing gratitude and feel your way into success. Gratitude is about generating that positive emotions. The grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the best. Therefore, it tends to become the best. The grateful mind is always fixing their mind. We have kids, you do anything, even with these biscuits, you see the way they are jumping up, with gratitude. If you have children that are always grateful when you buy things from them, see, from experience, you always want to buy. I have not gotten the experience in a while. What will I do? Just go and buy. Even if it's pencil, or the pencil is beautiful, you go and buy it. The next day, all their pencils, they can't find it. They want to start using that pencil. You understand what I'm saying? So, once you're grateful, and then our Father and God has given abundance. And as long as you show gratitude to Him, and we all know that generally He wants the praise, He wants the gratitude. So if you are the type that is giving it to Him, He will always give you reasons to give that back. Okay, I think we're almost done. Now, all these things we've said, you have to integrate them into your daily success routine. This is the skill. All things we've talked about. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we have work to do. I've said some of them and I put some of them here. But I put this first. Please avoid the law of attraction trap. And that law is trying to tell you that, see, a lot of people believe that just to affirm it is all you need to do. That's a trap. It is the beginning. And not just because, see, success requires what? A continuous cycle of action and adjustment. That desire is what will make you adjust. Action. You understand? For example, you set up a business and you are fine with making 10 million per year in profits. If you hit 15 million per year in profits, would there be any motivation to go higher? No, because you've gotten your goal. And that's why the chairman said, and from the book U Squared, your goal should be geometric. The way we achieve the goal can be arithmetic, can be Kaizen. What you want has to be out of this world. It has to be what we call the big, hairy, audacious goal that lights your behind every time to walk towards it. But you're walking towards it is still a step at a time. So we're not preaching magic in the way we understand magic. What we're saying is magic. It works like magic. But we're not preaching that. We're preaching, see, have that goal. Let it motivate you. Keep your emotions that way. But it helps you see the next step in the direction of the goal. So not just affirmation, attraction. I've said it is coming. That is a trap. But what you need is, see, continuous cycle of action and adjustment. So it has to be continuous. It has to be daily. Visualization has to be daily. We know savers, right? From Miracle Money. S is what? Silence, affirmation, exercise, scribbling. Those are things I've talked about today. You have to do savers every day. If you've not read Miracle Money, please, we need to read. I'll drop it on the group again. If I don't remember, please remind me. But practice savers. When you wake up in the morning, set aside 1 hour, 2 hours. So you're waking up 4 or 5 a.m. and you already have your time, each allotted to each of them. And you do that every day. Every day. You talk about, see, after visualization, you exercise to get your blood pumping. What's the next thing? You are developing your mind. Now, because you want a few things, when you are reading, your mind will glean from that book the things that you can do towards that. Scribbling is, what do I want to do? So you see, it's not about just there is action. In fact, I would like to say take massive action in the direction of your goal. Then, yes, okay, yes, that's the thing. Thank you. They want to be sure, this year, but they want to be sure that they can use that 100 million wisely. Thank you. Because they are looking for who they, because at the state they are in, or they were at the time, they are not the kind of people that you give 100 million. But if they read a book every week, and then they are dealing with people to teach them a skill to solve a problem, after 1 year, they become the kind of people that are deserving of 100 million. All we have talked about today is how can you become someone who deserves what you want, because that's the only way you can attract it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, please. Let's sit down. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have questions or comments. Okay, please, let's have the second mic. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. I'd like you to tell us your name and what you do.
Okay, my name is Corey.
Okay.
So I work in marketing segments in service.
Okay.
Okay, so first and foremost, I will say this very wonderful. I always love the teaching.
Thank you.
It's very remarkable. You must learn something every time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So while you were talking, I was having something was really bothering me while I was listening. So you said predominant thoughts must always be positive.
Yes.
Yes, which is very important. However, I was trying to make it to something. So how can you say that with this slang that goes to always hope for the best but expect the worst? And also, how can you also go with that statement with, I was studying the biography of Gbolahan, and he said something that actually what really has guided him to where even to where he got LVMH was that anytime he wants to plan for a project, he's always preparing for the worst. What's the worst thing that can ever happen? So can you help me match those two qualities?
Any other question?
I'd like to take the questions together. Okay. All right. So now, I believe in what we go with that. Plan for the best. What we have taught today is not for us to expect the worst. So first, I don't align with that. Do you understand? Because when you plan for the best, once you start to expect your worst, what will be your thoughts? That's where. And what will happen is that the experience might not come there or close to that place. Yeah, and you'll be happy because you prepared for it, so you're still able to achieve. But it doesn't mean that it's the best way to achieve what you want. Like I started, what we have taught today is not possibly the only way to achieve, but statistically, you have more people achieving what they want if they go this way, and it's much better to go this way. Now, talking about expects was well, maybe in law, you have a case, they can look at what's the worst case scenario. That's in dealing with such cases, but in attracting what you want, in preparing for a program, you have miscellaneous too, in terms of things that can, because you're interacting with other people, there are other factors in it. But in what you want, please don't apply that principle. If I'm preparing for an event, because I most likely is dependent on the owner of the hall, so you understand that you get whether there are other factors. But when it's in the race for your life, they are the only major factors. So believe the best and expect the best. Do you understand? But let's clap for him for that question. Okay, sir. Good afternoon. Sir.
I attend the Abeokuta ceremony. I decided to attend it because I'm in Lagos. My first question is that this can we get this line on the platform?
Yes, we'll get it tomorrow after all the ceremonies.
To corroborate what this brother was asking about, I think I want to contribute to this question. That success prepare you for the better future. Failure to prepare you for the better future. Like you are saying that you should. That saying has always been very important. Prepare your best, expect the worst. And it happened to me. I tried several small businesses, and along the line, I failed. But while I was doing, reflecting on what transpired, in the middle of it, I was still telling myself that tomorrow will be better. And to God be the glory. I'm in a place where I'm happy to be, despite the failures. So, there's a way life gravitates what you really want towards that positive. How I came to get to know about Modern Academy is a place, academic school is close to the house. I pass there every day. I look at the structure of the hotel, I see small size. But not until an event happened that a friend I've seen 17 years ago called me to attend an event together at Abeokuta. And he lodged at academic school. When I entered academic school, I saw it there. I said, see what I've been doing, I've been limited. And on the small, I think, brochure or something in the bed, that's what I got to know about Modern Academy. And since then, all the things I've been ingesting when I was young that I've forgotten, Modern Academy has helped me to revive them. And the forces are pulling me towards my goal that I've written today for me. And I've not forgotten that this thing will fail. Now, coming to your gratitude practice, I just believe that all the businesses that I was going to do 18 years ago when I was younger, I've done them. And even though I failed in some, I just realized that really, this way can be forgotten. Let's practice that.
Okay. Okay, yes.
My name is Dayo. Good afternoon, generous billionaires.
Good afternoon.
Right, so I just want to speak to the failure